Hello, everybody. I'm Rixa Sakib, the International Channel Manager at DECE Software. First of all, I wanted to thank you all for joining our webinar today. We really appreciate it. I guess we'll just wait for a couple of minutes. Let's see if other attendees will also be joining us, and then we'll head right into the topic of discussion. Today's topic of discussion is quite unique, actually. We'll be talking about one of the most advanced technologies in the world with regards to protecting your data and securing your data. This would be anonymized. Anonymization is something that we have introduced last year, and we saw a big gap in the market that we tried to fill using our solutions. It's a part of the entire GEODI platform, but it's something that we'll focus on specifically and individually today. As you see on my screen, you can see the entire GEODI offering with search, discover, classification, and masking functionality. Anonymization is also part of the same. So just allow me a minute or two. Let's wait for some other people to join us as well, and then we'll head straight to it. Thank you. All right, so thank you all once again for joining. Let's get right into the topic of discussion today, data anonymization and masking. Data anonymization and masking is a very advanced technology when it comes to securing your data completely. This could be seen as securing your data internally, it could be seen as securing your data from external parties as well. Anonymization is a very sought after technology and it's quite new in the market as well. We recently introduced this last year because we saw a big gap and we saw how anonymization can change the frame of securing your data and further enhance data privacy measures. So let's get right into the topic of discussion now. We're moving to our first ever slide. Let me just give you a brief introduction about what masking is and what anonymization is. When we hear the term masking data, the first thing that comes to our mind is that you are hiding data. So that is exactly what masking is doing. We are replacing actual sensitive information. It could be personal information such as ID cards or email addresses. It could be financial information such as credit card numbers or IBAN numbers. It could be monetary information, money values in different currencies. And it could also be commercial information. So the task at hand is to mask and hide all this sensitive data without touching any data that surrounds it. So let's assume in a document, it could be a Word document, as you see over here, it could be a PDF document, Excel, etc. Many more places, it could be your databases. You're storing various types of data. This could be data with regards to dates, etc., sensitive pieces of information, along with normal data. So what masking basically does is that it makes your data source secure to be shared because sensitive values are now hidden. We can hide them with symbols of your choosing based on your internal SOPs, etc. All of those technologies we'll be discussing in the future slides. Now let's shed some light upon the technology of anonymization. Anonymization is at times also confused with pseudonymization. That's a totally different topic. What anonymization does is that it empowers you to take many actions on your data without risking any data privacy. Anonymization is the way to go when you consider sharing data internally for test purposes or sharing it with external parties as well. And the reason why I say that is because anonymization not only maintains the value of your data source, of your format, what it does is that it replaces the actual sensitive information with synthetic data. So let's assume that I would like to anonymize a credit card number in a PDF document. When we anonymize that credit card number, in place of the actual credit card number, you will see a fake or dummy credit card number. So in reality, anonymized values would fulfill the rule of that number X being a credit card number. But no real data would be at loss, no real data would be shown to others when you are sharing anonymized versions. I will be talking about these topics, both these topics, masking and anonymization, in a lot of detail in the following slides. Just to give you a brief introduction about our company as well. So we've worked with customers all around the globe, huge multinational companies such as Iron Mountain, Teleperformance, Verifone. We've worked with countries in all sorts of areas, locations, regions. We've worked with companies in Asia. We've worked with companies in Europe, such as the Ministry of Agriculture in Croatia. We've worked with companies in Africa, such as the National Budget of Nigeria. And we also cater to various industries, such as the banking industry, the finance industry, it could be the production industry, it could be the government sector, many, many more. And the reason why I feel like sharing this piece of information is quite essential is because we have analyzed needs of people from different regions, people from different industries, and then understood market gaps, understood demand. And that is why we have now developed this new technology of anonymized data. Let's get into the first slide. Why is anonymization or masking something that should be considered? Why is it important? Why should companies not only spend their time but resources in these technologies? The reason for that is because in the modern world, data is something that is very valuable. Data is our most essential aspect. When you see about, years of work that people have put into their companies, so the most valuable thing that we have in hand is actually our data. It's our intellectual property, and data can directly be converted into money as well. And that data is being shared on a regular basis. It could be sharing data via mail, it could be sharing data by different formats as well. So this data sharing should be conducted in a manner that you are not only protecting your data, rather you are also abiding by privacy measures, legal rules and regulations. So for data sharing, we have introduced anonymizing and masking data. Let me give you an example over here. Let's assume that I want to be working with, like I'll be purchasing a new software, for instance. And I want to share some data for test purposes with another vendor who's providing that software to me. While sharing that data, I need to ensure that I'm not actually sharing any personal, financial, monetary, commercial information with the third party. I'm sharing data in a hidden, in a safe manner. So to share that data in a safe manner, you can proceed with anonymizing your sensitive pieces of information. You can replace actual sensitive values with fake dummy values to ensure that you get authentic results, but at the same time, you are not actually risking leaking any actual information. That is how data share can be conducted in a secure way using anonymizing and masking techniques that we are offering on the GEODI platform. The second thing to consider would be software development and testing. As an organization, we are rapidly evolving and changing into more AI-based technologies. We're becoming more revolutionized. The work environment is more data-driven. So regularly, we have our IT departments, we have our software teams testing for new things. And in these purposes, when you are taking information from your production side to the test side, you're also sharing data, be it for internal purposes as well. That is sharing data. And this sharing of data should also be monitored and protected so that when you are sharing even internally, you are sharing it in an appropriate manner. Let's say that there are people in the organization who should not have access to sensitive information such as ID cards or email addresses. Share that data with them by masking or anonymizing this PII information. You can do all of that in bulk using GEODI. Now, another very important point to consider is what is the type of data that GEODI can help you anonymize or mask? We can help you anonymize and mask personal data, ID card numbers, telephone numbers, email addresses. We can help you mask not just PII data, but also money value. We can help you mask financial information such as credit card numbers, IBAN numbers. We can help you mask commercial information. We can help you mask dates, or if there's any other custom values that you'd like us to mask, we can do that. How do we do that? First, we discover that information, be it wherever it is in your data sources. Your data sources could be scattered. It's not a problem for you. We will discover it, and then we will help you mask or anonymize that piece of information. Now, let's see what are the major hurdles, what are the main difficulties that customers and organizations are facing while conducting such action. The first problem that most people face is actually how accurate the results are for information that you want to anonymize or mask. I can only anonymize or mask an ID number when I actually have a real ID. I can only anonymize credit card number if it's an actual credit card number. Because if it's just 16 random digits put together and it's not a credit card number, then there is no value in anonymizing or masking it. Maybe I'm masking the wrong thing. So to be able to mask and anonymize the right thing, the first step you need is high accuracy of your discovery solution. Your discovery solution needs to ensure that X value is really a sensitive piece of information. That is something that GEODI is offering to customers. We have highly accurate discovery solution that is not only using regex, it's AI-based discovery which uses algorithms and keywords to further ensure that any value that we're reporting as sensitive information is actually a sensitive information. And now let's look at the next point. As an organization, we are storing data on multiple data sources, multiple formats. You have your PCs, your endpoints, on where you are storing lots of data. Other than that, you're storing data on your cloud storage spaces, such as your Google Drive, your OneDrive, maybe some databases such as Oracle, SQL, etc. It could be your SharePoint, your share folders. You might be storing data on on-prem data sources as well. Maybe you're storing data on file servers, emails, different areas. All these data sources are supported by GEODI. So we can help you discover from structured data sources as well as unstructured data sources. So just imagine the scope that our solution has. Each and every piece of information in your organization can be discovered by GEODI. And once we have discovered information that lies in these data sources, you can take the right remediation action. So this is how GEODI is helping you with its complete DSPM offering. We can help you process data dynamically. What do I actually mean by processing data? When I say that GEODI can help you process data dynamically, I mean to say that there's a variety of remediation techniques that you can take from your data. So you can anonymize your data, you can mask your data, but it doesn't just end there. With GEODI, you can also encrypt, you can quantize, you can delete your data as well. And a very important and popular remediation technique is classifying data. So we can also help with that. So this is the entire offering on GEODI. Let's focus more on masking and anonymization, but just to give you a slight briefing about the complete portfolio that we offer as well. So now let's see the result of masking and anonymizing data. So the way that we're masking information is that we are creating copies of the original. In that sense, you will not be risking, by mistake masking. Because let's say that I want to mask all PCI DSS or PII related information that is present in my XYZ endpoints or file server. Let's say that you've taken the activity of masking all of it. Now there is no way of going back to the unmasked version. That is why we are creating copies. Because you need to be 100% certain that what I am masking is data that I'm okay with being masked. Because there is no way to see that data. So where is this used? For PCI DSS compliance, you need to have it. You need to ensure that all PCI DSS related non-compliant data, such as IBAN numbers, CVVs, PINs, passwords, credit card numbers, they're all masked for good so that nobody has access to them. So with GEODI, you can save it as masked versions, you can save it as anonymized versions. All of that is possible. Now, if we think about how many human labor hours will be consumed in this process, in this mechanism, the first thing that we need to see is that what is the time it takes the solution to anonymize or mask information, and how is it doing that? With GEODI, we can help you mask or anonymize data individually on individual documents as well, and we can help you do it in batches. So you imagine that you have found 1 TB of data that is non-compliant to PCI DSS. In one single activity, in one go, you can mask all those non-compliant pieces of information with GEODI. This is the ease that we're offering to our customers when it comes to providing the right remediation technique. We can perform masking and anonymization on various data sources. It could be your office documents, it could be PDFs as well, and we can also do it on database level. So the scope of anonymization and masking is another thing you will be considering while thinking of purchasing some solution using it. Now let's talk about what this will look like. In an organization, you have multiple departments. You have people in different ranks, different seniorities, people who have different job descriptions, different tasks, etc. With GEODI, you can now dynamically mask anonymized data, which means that everybody in your organization will only be able to see data that you have allowed them to see. So let's say I'm part of the HR team. I can see PII data that I'm storing in my file server X, for instance. But let's assume that my colleague X is part of the production team or the sales team. And in your organization, you do not want the sales team people to see personal information. And we can dynamically mask these types of data sources. So if they open an Excel document or a Word document, the sales team will not see personal information. This is how we are offering you dynamic ways to ensure that your data is dealt with in the most perfect, most suitable way. All right. Now, this is a question that many banks are asking us actually. Many banks and many big organizations are storing data on databases as expected. So, what and how can they actually protect data on databases, right? Because for document level information, people are usually choosing the path to classify. But for database, what we can do is that we can help you discover what is all the PII, the PCI DSS information present in your SQL database, Postgres database, Oracle database, or any other database that you're using. And then we can help you anonymize or mask data on database level as well. This way, you can easily share information internally as well. You can easily communicate within the organization. You can share this information with other third parties and ensure that the integrity of your data within your databases is protected. Your data privacy is not just limited to documents, not just limited to emails, but is spread all throughout your organization's data sources. So that is how GEODI is performing. Now let's go into a little bit more detail as to how you will be anonymizing. There are two options that we will be presenting you when we consider anonymization. Option number one is that every time you get an, I would like to explain this using an example. Let's say that I want to anonymize all emails that I have found in my Oracle database, for instance, or all emails that I found throughout my PCs, etc. Now with GEODI, what you can do is that either each and every email will be anonymized with a different email. So for example, let's say rixa.sakin@dcsoftware.com is the email that I found in my database. And the next email is ibrahim.challa@dcsoftware.com. Both these emails are emails that I would like to anonymize. The first option that I have in hand is that I can replace both emails with different values. So now instead of Rixa, I will see, let's say, test at help.com, And instead of Ibrahim, maybe I will see sales@help.com, for instance. So both these emails do not match. They're different emails, but they're both anonymized. They're both dummy or fake. So this is option number one. Option number two that you have at hand is that you can actually use the same way to mask data. So now let's put this into practice. In place of Rixa, you will see test@gmail.com. In place of Ibrahim, you will see test@gmail.com. Each and every email will be replaced with the same email. This is how you can use anonymization in different. All right. Now, a very important thing that we have been communicating with our customers on one-on-one meetings as well is that GEODI is one of the easiest solutions when you consider integrating with your own data sources. So GEODI has an API. We're using API integrations to integrate with your data sources such as your databases, and such ease of integration is something that you will not find elsewhere in the market. It's difficult to integrate with various data sources of yours. This is the main pain point that we have seen when customers used to come up to us to comply with PCI DSS or when they required a discovery solution. Because as an organization, what I also mentioned earlier, we are storing data on various data sources. This means that the discovery solution needs to be able to integrate with those data sources so that you can find what pieces of information each one contains. And if this process is difficult, it takes a lot of time. With GEODI, me and my team will be providing you the complete support, and we have easy to use integration APIs that work very well with various types of data sources. So that would generally be all for my discussion today. We have talked about anonymization, we have talked about masking data, we have talked about where and why they can be used and why we develop these solutions. We have talked about factors that affect their performance and how we have tried to perfect our offering. We have talked about the scope of anonymization and masking. We have talked about how it would look in front of each end user. And we have also talked about uh, generally how this thing would fit in your own organization as well. So now, if you have any questions, please feel free to share with me, and I would love to get back to you on them. Okay, so we do have a question. All right. Ayodele, is my voice clear now? You can let me know, please. So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes. If you have questions, please do relay them to me, and I'll help you respond to them. So in the meantime, you guys are typing your questions. Let me give you some insights about what is profile of customers who generally ask us for anonymization and masking technologies. The first time I ever experienced this query was actually from an insurance company. They had a SQL database that they wanted to share with other vendors. And the second time I experienced this query was from a bank. They had a core banking system and they were sharing the data from their production side to the test side. So in that scenario, they wanted to mask their information. These are, and then after both these scenarios, I started getting similar queries from many other organizations as well. So I would say that these are the main use cases, these are the main queries that we've seen in the market. And if you have any queries yourself, if you're interested in anonymizing your data, please do let me know, and I can evaluate the use case with you as well. Okay, so Ayodele has a question for us. How can we position data masking to our client? I will need your technical write-up. Yep, sure. So Ayodele, I can share this with you via mail. I can share our data sheets with you, and I can share a project plan with you, going over our technical proposal as to where and why a customer would be needing an anonymization solution. If you would like, we can also have one-on-one sessions to talk more about this technology, to talk more about its relevance and how we can approach the market with this technique as well. So I will get back to you as soon as I can, inshallah, after this webinar. All right, so if there's anything else from your side, guys, please do let me know. I'll be closing the webinar now. I'll just wait 1 more minute if there's any question. If not, then I'll close the webinar. Thank you so much for your attendance today. I really appreciate it. Your support is very important to us. Your feedback is very important to us. We are a very customer-centric organization, a very responsive organization. Our partners, our distributors, and our customers, they have free communication with us, and we are always there to support you guys. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your questions as well. Thank you so much for your attendance and your time. I'll just stop the webinar now and bid you all farewell. I hope to see you in our next session. I hope to, understand what are other technologies that you guys are interested in. So hopefully after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we'll be meeting again in the next session. And until then, I wish you all very well. Have a wonderful day ahead and speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.